We had something happen on Friday night that we hadn't seen in 5 years. A big losing streak came to an end and a whole bunch of teams got ready a week before region play. All this and some highlights coming up next on this week's edition of Gridiron Central. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Jim Allred, and we have a whole bunch of scores to talk about. We start at the top. A game I was actually at Barron Stadium, a Region 5 5A matchup. Allatoona 45, Rome 14. Rome falls to 1-2 on the season. We'll have highlights of this later in the show. Tryon 42, Walker 7. The Bulldogs move to 3-0 on the season. Region 6A play begins next week. Cedartown 62, Lafayette 21. Nick Chubb rushed for 266 yards in this game. That takes the Bulldogs to 3-0 on the season. Ridgeland 42, River Ridge 14. Panthers now 2-1 on the season. Darlington 38, Chattooga 13. Darlington had a week off last week. Darlington moves to 2-1 on the season. Chattooga is now 0-3 on the season. Adairsville 33, Pepperell 10. Adairsville moves to 2-1 on the season. Pepperell has started 0-3 for the second consecutive year. Region 7 AA play begins for the Dragons next Saturday in the Shrine game against Coosa, and that will be played in Lindale. Cartersville 41, Rockmart nothing. The Purple Hurricanes looking just as good as last year, moving to 3-0 on the season. Murray County 14, Gordon Central 12. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Murray County 14, Gordon Central 12. This is the first win for Murray County in a few years. A couple of years back, they got 2 forfeit wins, but it's been almost 3 full years since Murray County got a real win on the field. Tonight, they get it. Friday night, they got it against Gordon Central. Gordon Central, after making the playoffs last year, starts this season 0-3. Gordon Lee 6, Armurchie 2. We had apparently a baseball game almost out in Armurchie, at least a score that resembles a baseball score. The Trojans moved to 3-0 on the season. Armurchie, the exact mirror opposite of that at 0-3. Model 27, Sonoraville 6. Model avenges one of its losses from last year. Sonoraville, their only win last year was against Model. It might be a long year for the Phoenix. They're already 0-3. Model moves to 2-1. Central of Carrollton 19, Ringgold 15. Central came back late to score and beat the Tigers. Carrollton 42, Calhoun 7. I didn't predict the score, but back in the spring edition of Gridiron Central, I said Calhoun's winning streak, regular season winning streak, would come to an end in Carrollton. Tonight, it did just that. The Trojans are a very good Class 4A team. Of course, Calhoun's a very good Class AA team. Eventually, you're going to have to lose. It's been 5 years. The last time Calhoun lost was to Cartersville back in, 08? So it has been a long time coming. It was the longest streak, consecutive regular season winning streak currently in Georgia, and the second or third longest all-time in Georgia high school football. We'll talk a little bit about that later. Loganville Christian 41, Unity Christian 6. The Lions going to come home and lick their wounds after that one. That was a region game. Unity takes another loss. And last score to talk about, Coosa 50, Haralson County 16. The Eagles bounce back from last week's disappointing overtime loss to beat Haralson County, move to 2-1, heading into Region 7 AA play next week. And then after the break, we're going to have some highlights from a couple of games.
Begin your future at Georgia Northwestern Technical College. We offer degrees, diplomas, and certificates in over 200 programs of study. Choose a career in business, health, industrial, or public service. With the flexibility of day, evening, and online classes at any of our 5 campus locations, getting your education at GNTC has never been more convenient. There are many financial aid options available, including student loans. Apply now. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Your college, your town, your future.
Rome tried to defend its home turf at Barron Stadium on Friday night as the Allatoona Buccaneers came calling in a Region 5 5A matchup.
Yeah, we came out and had a turnover, and you can't beat a good football team with turnovers. They had several turnovers, and then we just gave in. We gave in. I didn't do a good job of getting them prepared this week, and we struggled moving the ball. We struggled getting in the end zone, and we had the turnover.
Armurchie tried to get his first win Friday night as the Indians played host to the undefeated Gordon Lee Trojans.
Number 700 Peters on the carry.
Left-hand column's all that matters. Our defense played great tonight, kept us in the ball game, gave us chances when we would not finish. We missed a field goal down there, which would have been big. Just didn't execute very well.
Our kids played hard. I can't fault them for that. Again, had some young kids that made some mistakes, and I'll take the blame for that. They're learning, and we're learning every day, and we'll keep work at it. We got Murray County next week, which starts our region schedule. So we'll come back and we'll go to work Monday.
Begin your future at Georgia Northwestern Technical College. We offer degrees, diplomas, and certificates in over 200 programs of study. Choose a career in business, health, industrial, or public service. With the flexibility of day, evening, and online classes at any of our 5 campus locations, getting your education at GNTC has never been more convenient. There are many financial aid options available, including student loans. Apply now. Georgia Northwestern Technical college, your town, your future.
Welcome back to the show. Now it's time for the segment we've named Friday Night Takeaways. I'm going to go over 3 or 4 items, takeaways from all the action that happened on Friday night. First off, hats off to Calhoun. Yes, they kind of got skunked by Carrollton, but think about this. Calhoun hadn't lost a regular season game since 2008. 49 consecutive wins. Hats off to the Yellow Jackets without a doubt. Of course, Region 7 AA foes can remember it's been 11 years since Calhoun lost a region game. Could that streak come to an end this year? I don't think so. I think Calhoun is by far the pride of Region 7 AA, and this is probably going to be their only loss in the regular season. Of course, we'll have to find that out later in the year, but again, awfully tough to win 10 to 15 or 20 straight regular season games, not to mention 49. Takeaway number 2. At this moment, Tryon and Gordon Lee are both 3-0 on the season. Darlington is 2-1. All 3 of these teams begin Region 6A play next week. All 3 of these teams have the potential to put themselves and play themselves into a much better power ranking with, especially with Tryon and Gordon Lee with 3-0 starts. The power rankings are how you find out the playoffs in the single A public school and private school brackets. So right now, all 3 of those teams are sitting pretty. Granted, they're all going to have to play each other, but one of those teams might end up with a much better power ranking because of a good start to the season. Number 3, 7AA play Region 7AA play begins next Friday and Saturday. The Shrine Game is actually on Saturday between Coosa and Pepperell, and we don't really know what we have. And we know we have Calhoun up here. We thought we had Murray County here, but Murray County got a win. So I'm not so sure. As we go into the region race right now, Pepperell, Armuchee, and Chattooga are all 0-3. Murray County is 1-2. Coosa, Dade, Calhoun, and Model are all 2-1. Of course, all of these records mean nothing next week because it's the region records that matter. And obviously, you better believe that Armuchee, Chattooga, and Pepperell are really going to be gunning for that first win next week. So Region 7 AA, in all honesty, I think it's we're going to see some fruit basket turnover here. I think a team that we're not used to seeing get in the playoffs might get in the playoffs. Murray County, they got to win. They might get a couple more. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Final takeaway from the week, Rome kind of took it on the head. Their regular season record now 1-2. Allatoona is a good football team, but as Allatoona's coaches are saying, they're really in rebuilding mode, and for them to kind of manhandle Rome like that may not sit well for the Wolves. The Wolves do have a bye week next week. Franco Perkins talked about that. He talked about not wanting to have to go into a bye week with the bitter taste of this loss in his mouth, but in my opinion, it might be a good thing for the Wolves to be able to regroup because the next team they're going to play is New Manchester, which is currently undefeated. Now, New Manchester plays East Paulding next week, so they may have a loss by the time they see Rome in 2 weeks. But I think Rome, if they can get everything together and get back on track, might have a chance to beat New Manchester and keep alive those playoff hopes. Those are my takeaways from this Friday night. Of course, if you want to read about the action, you can go to PrepCentralOnline.com. We have articles, photos, video highlights, and of course, Gridiron Central. You can watch the show over and over again if you'd like to. And of course, don't forget our Wednesday preview show, as Matt Davis from 95.7 The Ridge will sit down with me. We'll talk all things high school football. And of course, we also cover other things as well. There's a big cross-country meets, volleyball, softball, cheerleading, you name it. We cover it at PrepCentralOnline.com. For Kevin Myrick, I'm Jim Allred saying we'll see you on the sidelines.
Begin your future at Georgia Northwestern Technical College. We offer degrees, diplomas, and certificates in over 200 programs of study. Choose a career in business, health, industrial, or public service. With the flexibility of day, evening, and online classes at any of our 5 campus locations, getting your education at GNTC has never been more convenient. There are many financial aid options available, including student loans. Apply now. Georgia Northwestern Technical College, your town, your future.